time to call your lawyer.
That's what we do on Wednesdays at this time. We call our lawyer and friend, attorney for the injured, Bruce L. Scheiner, and ask him a question about the law, get some clarification on things that confuse lay people like you and me all the time. Let's see what today's question is all about. Actually, before I dive into that, let me just say this real quickly. What I need you to do is to understand we're just having some general legal conversation here. If you're in some kind of legal predicament, you should not take what you're about to hear as specific legal advice in your specific situation. You absolutely must sit down face-to-face with a professional in order to find out those things about your specific case. And I recommend you do that, actually. And many attorneys offer a free consultation. Bruce L. Scheiner and Associates certainly do. And I'll tell you how to contact them momentarily. But always get some face-to-face info, not go by what you hear on the radio. Still, there's some advice that you can take to the bank. Like this. Don't sign anything. Don't make any statements. And don't let anybody record any conversations until you've had a chance to sit down with a professional and find out what your rights are. Just some good advice all the way around from your friends at Kicks Country 92.9. So let's check in and see what Bruce thinks of today's legal brain teaser at Kicks Country. Welcome aboard, Bruce L. Scheiner, attorney for the injured. Good morning, Bruce.
Good morning, Todd. How are you doing this morning?
Just fine. And how are you?
Well, I'm doing great, but you could tell the temperature is starting to rise.
Oof. I tell you, it came on strong and fast this year, and I'm not the least bit surprised about that. Nonetheless, whether it's cooler or warmer, spring or fall or summer, it matters not. People are still getting hurt in a variety of different ways and need professional advice. And that's why we turn to you with questions like the one I've got sitting in front of me here.
Well, I look forward to answering your questions.
And I look forward to presenting the question because I know your firm handles an awful lot of motorcycle cases. And we've talked frequently about how motorcycles, of course, we don't look behind the wheel of a four-wheel vehicle. We don't look out enough for our two-wheeled friends. And that's a problem. So,
well, I appreciate your saying that, Todd, and it's important that the listeners know that our firm recently has been going around to motorcycle clubs and giving them information about, insurance that's available, especially our old friend uninsured motorist coverage.
Right.
Talking to them about the lights on motorcycles that are legal and illegal and how important it is for motorcycles to be sure that they can be seen.
And I know a lot of motorcyclists do an excellent job at making themselves as visible as possible. Still, there's somebody who's not paying enough attention, sadly. And that's when you end up with a question like the one we have here. So why don't we dive right into it?
I'm ready.
Okay. It says, my cousin was operating a motorcycle when a car ran a stop sign and crashed into my cousin, causing him to be hospitalized. The at-fault party had no insurance, and my cousin had no uninsured motorist coverage on his motorcycle. However, my cousin owned both a car and pickup truck that had stacking uninsured motorist coverage. Is there anything my cousin can do? Uninsured motorist coverage, at least partially. What would you do here?
Well, this is a very interesting area of the law because normally if you have a vehicle that does not have uninsured motorist coverage and you're involved in an accident with that vehicle, you cannot collect uninsured motorist coverage.
I see. So if you have three vehicles, you choose it for two, that third vehicle, you can't claim it then.
Well, that's not what I'm saying. I'm getting there in a second.
Oh, I apologize.
So obviously in this case, the at-fault had no insurance, so you can't recover anything from him.
That's for sure.
And there's no insurance on your motorcycle.
Right.
However, the unique aspect of the law is that if you have two other vehicles that have stacking coverage, even though your motorcycle doesn't have uninsured motorist coverage, because your coverage is stacking, you could go to that stacking coverage and collect under the uninsured motorist coverage.
I see. So both the car and the pickup truck with stacking uninsured motorist coverage is what may come to the rescue here.
Exactly. And that just shows how important it is to, number one, buy uninsured motorist coverage, and number two, make sure that it's stacking.
If it had been...
And for your listeners that don't know what stacking means is you stack or you add one coverage to the other. So if you have 100, 300 coverage on your car and 100, 300 coverage on your truck, now you have or entitled to collect 200 over 600.
I see. Okay. And if it had been the non-stacking kind, that wouldn't have been helpful for the motorcycle accident?
If they had non-stacking on the car and truck and no uninsured motorist on the motorcycle, they would not be entitled to make a recovery.
It's one of those things that you hear on this segment of the show all the time, how important it is to give that all consideration. And we've all got budgets. We've all got financial constraints, but as much uninsured motorist coverage as you can afford is to your benefit.
Exactly. And, you know, it's interesting. I had told you we had gone out and we speak to different motorcycle groups. Well, there's a local group called BACA, Bikers Against Child Abuse.
Okay.
And first of all, it's an unbelievable organization because they actually go out and help those young children who are abused by sexual predators, and they appear in court and do things on their behalf.
Oh, that's great.
But we went to one of their meetings and talked to them about uninsured motorists. Took them on a Sunday, and on Monday there was a number of motorcycle riders that called their insurance companies and got the appropriate coverage. So it's just so important.
That's good. And it goes to show you something else that's really important, and also an important function of what we do on Wednesday mornings, education. Just getting the word out. Absolutely. Well, thank you, Bruce, because I'm sure somebody listening to this is going to do the exact same thing, get a hold of their insurance agent today and say, talk to me about uninsured motorist coverage, which would be ideal. So thank you for that.
Okay, thank you, Todd. It's great talking to you, and look forward to talking to you again next Wednesday morning.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up, please. He gives of his time freely for us, and we appreciate it. Bruce L. Scheiner, attorney for the injured on Kicks Country 92.9. Now, if you would like to submit a question for future consideration, it's not hard to do. Simply go to our website, look on the homepage for BLS Bruce L. Scheiner, and send it on in. It's completely confidential, and you can even remain anonymous, but get that question into us for future consideration at kickscountry929.com. On the other hand, if your legal situation is bothering you to the point where you want more immediate attention, and listen, I don't blame you for that. That's understandable. Call this number, get a hold of Bruce L. Scheiner and Associates for an immediate answer and a sit-down face-to-face, like I was talking about before, with a professional. 941-743-7777. 941-743-7777. Don't let anyone take away your rights, or don't accidentally give away your rights. A lot of folks do that. Find out how to protect yourself and your interests by calling Bruce L. Scheiner and Associates, 743-7777. Tell them Todd Matthews sent you from Kicks Country 92.9.